Clemson's at Syracuse for a Friday night showdown in the Carrier Dome. Thanks for watching. Brock Page here. I do random sports picks for fun. Clemson's minus 21 at Syracuse this Friday. Against the spread, the Tigers are 2-0 on the road and 2-0 as the official road favorite. They have marquee covers over the likes of Auburn, Louisville, and Virginia Tech. They take on a Syracuse team who's covered just 1 of 3 at home and lost 2 of their last 3 outright. I think we'll see the betting public lean toward Clemson in this one despite being on the road. I'd have to imagine we'll see this number close at about 24 points. Now scoring-wise, Clemson's 3-1 to the overs in their last 4. Same song and dance for Syracuse as 3 of their last 4 went under the line themselves. All told, I think we'll have a majority of that public money on the Tigers and the under by the time this game kicks off. All right, next game, Washington State laying 12.5 at Cal. Washington State's covered 4 of 5 overall, going 3-1 against the spread as the favorite. They take on a Golden Bears team who lost their last 3 straight, failing to cover spreads of 28 and 16 points respectively. Wazoo is hot, and if you're leaning toward their side, I think the current spread is quite generous. You might not want to pussyfoot around, as I could see this one closing at about 17 points. Now, total-wise, both teams are 3-1 to the unders in their last 4. All told, I think we'll see most of the betting public on the Golden Bears and the under in this one. All right, next matchup, Florida State minus 8 at Duke. If you're a Duke bettor, you might want to act quick because I have a feeling a lot of the public's jumping on this Blue Devil bandwagon. Against the spread, Duke's 2-1 at home and 2-0 against teams under 500. Duke's also 2-0 against the spread versus teams allowing less than 25 points per game. Now, on the other side, this Florida State team is, as the experts would say, a foreclosure team. They're a dismal 0-4 against the spread overall. Things not looking so good for Seminole bettors in this one. Now, scoring-wise, we haven't seen a whole lot of points in both of these teams' games. Both ball clubs are 4-0 to the unders in their last 4. With all that in mind, I think we'll probably close right around that original opening number. So look for Duke to catch anywhere between 4 and 6 points by the closing bell. All right, next contest, Michigan State laying 4 at Minnesota. The Spartans are a great covering team thus far in the season. They're 4-1 against the spread overall and 3-0 as the favorite. They have marquee covers over Iowa and Michigan, and they're going up against a Minnesota squad who's covered just 2 of 5 overall and just 1 of 3 at home. Now, this Golden Gophers team has failed to cover over the likes of Purdue, Maryland, and Buffalo. And after the Michigan State in their big win over Michigan last week, we should see a lot of that public money come in on the Spartans to cover here. I'd expect a closing number of about a touchdown. And when it comes to the total, over bettors should come out of the woodwork in this one, as Minnesota games are 3-1 to the overs in their last 4. All told, we should see the majority of the public money come pouring in on the Spartans in this one. All right, next game, South Carolina catching 2 at Tennessee. Now, against the spread, the Tennessee Volunteers are 0-4 overall. They take on a South Carolina team who's 4-2 against the spread overall and a perfect 3-0 covering on the road. Most impressive, the Gamecocks are 4-0 against the spread as the official Vegas underdog. I have absolutely no idea who the public's going to back in this one, but you will find out who I'm backing later in the week. Now, scoring-wise, we could very well see most of that public money come pouring in on the under. South Carolina games are just 3-1 to the unders in their last 4. Meanwhile, similar story on the other side as Tennessee games are 3-0 to the unders in their last 3 themselves. All told, I don't foresee any absurdly drastic line movement by the closing number this weekend for this matchup. Now, next contest I have for you, Oklahoma's looking to bounce back after a devastating loss at home last week. They're laying 7.5 at Texas. The Sooners are 3-2 against the spread overall and a perfect 2-0 covering against teams giving up less than 25 points per contest. They have a Texas team who failed to cover over the likes of Kansas State and Maryland. All in all, I think that Oklahoma loss might still be fresh in the minds of the early money, so don't look for any crazy action in their favor this early in the week. Now, total-wise, we've seen a lot of unders in these Texas games. They're 3-1 to the unders in their last 4. Different story for Oklahoma. 3 out of the Sooners' last 4 games have gone over the line. Sooners are averaging 42 points of scoring a game, so there's no telling what that line will open up at. If I had to take a guess, I'd say about 60 total points at the least. All right, next and final game. Missouri catching 28.5 at Georgia. Missouri's not so good against the number, so it might take about 30 points for them to get the job done. Missouri's covered just 1 of 4 overall and are still looking to get that first outright win on the year. They got a Georgia team who's a perfect 5-0 against the number overall and 4-0 as the favorite. The Bulldogs have marquee covers over Notre Dame, Mississippi State, and Tennessee. When it's all said and done, we could see this number get to 31 to 32 points, in my opinion. Even more, really. Now, scoring-wise, Georgia games tend to stay under the total. Before last week's action, Georgia games went 3-0 to the unders in their previous 3. Similar story for Missouri games, as they're 2-1 to the unders themselves before last week's action at Kentucky. All told, I think we'll have probably about a 50-50 distribution of the money by the closing number, but all that early money is going to move that line up pretty high for Georgia bettors. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. We're going to have our picks later in the week, but before I get out of here, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my future picks. A wise man once said, "Good ain't free, and free ain't good." For some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.